Welcome to the Sleepy C and Big D Show.
Hello and welcome to the newest edition of the Sleepy C and Big D Show. She can't talk right now because she's got a mouthful.
Of pot stickers.
Oh.
Just to be, just for surezies.
Politically correct?
Yeah. In case there were questions. It's fantastic, by the way, in case you were wondering.
Yeah, we can hear it.
I'm sorry. Everybody.
Favorite part? Best for last? How's it go?
I saved the best for last. Sorry, that's me clapping, and it's just not as good because I still have the pot sticker in my hand.
In your hand. And
I'm combating flies
and you're
right
waving. Yeah, attracting flies.
I'm trying to combat them.
Fact checker Rosa in the house.
Ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh.
While we were waiting for you, she did some fact checking. The difference between ground squirrels and...
Tree squirrels?
No.
Flying squirrels.
Prairie dogs.
Oh.
They're short, fat versions of a tailless squirrel.
A prairie dog is?
Yeah.
Really? I would have thought they were skinnier and lankier than a squirrel.
Yeah, no, she showed me pictures. I had flashbacks of you.
Of me?
Yeah. Do you have the picture handy? As Rosa digs through it, Celeste's still stuffing her face.
Mm-hmm. Don't mind me over here. Oh
yeah.
My God, these flies.
Oh, they're everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Wow. When they're not standing up out of their prairie holes, or I don't know what you call that.
Yeah.
A prairie hole. It kind of sounds like the opposite of a glory hole. But... oh my God, I need them.
Oh, there
I
it
want
is.
a bunch for pets.
Panzona or panse. How's it go?
Pancita.
Pancita.
Ezekiel. Pancita. She's like, God damn it. Of course.
Never should have taught him that word.
Yeah. But at the same time, at least he's learning. He's picking it up.
Yeah.
He knows now.
Yeah.
Come grab my belly. Pancita. With just the most adorable of faces so you can't punch.
Right?
She's like, damn you.
A la pancita.
Mm-hmm. Literally.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Whew. That was nice. Sorry, everybody. That was just the end of my quick plate of food. Chinese leftovers.
Leftovers?
Mm-hmm.
That's all leftovers?
Yes, we ordered heavily. We planned. We knew that this would be in preparation for the next couple of days.
I thought you picked that up fresh today.
Not today, sir.
Wow. That's impressive.
In fact, we should have ate some of it yesterday also, but we did not.
No.
That's all right. I'm going to wash that all down with a nice, soothing Modelo. Original.
Now, yeah, I was
Modelo.
going to say, now we're back to the original because no longer getting the hives and welts and things at the...
Yeah, I wanted to just skip all that.
It's hot enough without scratching and itching.
Yes. I was like, I'm already going to be sweaty. I don't want to be itchy. And it just, maybe my body just needs a little bit of a break from whatever the ingredients is in there. I still don't know. It's not really something I'm... Fact checker, maybe you probably don't have an interest in knowing what's in there. It's all right.
It's tomatoes,
no pressure.
Beer, and something, right?
And like some spices.
So spices for the beans.
Yes, no, there's no beans in there. That doesn't make sense.
No, you're right.
So, while Rosa maybe wants to look at the ingredients of michelada, or maybe she doesn't, either way, I'm going to dive into a little something that I'd like to call this last weekend.
Story time.
Ooh, ooh. Cooler. Ready for this?
Yes.
All right, so let's start with, let's start with Saturday. I think that's probably the most logical thing to do. So Saturday, actually, we could talk about Friday and how we went to OG Tacos. That was Friday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. There's this place
so
called...
much enthusiasm.
Yeah, she clearly does not give a fuck.
Right.
She's like, who cares where we went Friday?
Yeah.
So Friday we went to OG Tacos. It was at the fairgrounds. And they just do I guess they do a pop-up every week or something. I don't know how
like
the fuck
a truck
it works.
thing, or they just show up?
I think it's just a pop-up setup. It's not even a truck. I
just
think
a tent and a barbecue?
Yeah. And they throw it down. They make these fucking bomb-ass tacos, of which I think I had 2 to start. And then I want to say we had extra ones, though. We definitely bought extras for later. Because this fucking spot is so like just fucking banging, that it draws the crowd in from everywhere.
Really?
It's like Chick-fil-A. It doesn't matter what kind of person you are, you like their shit. It's delicious.
And they're just out in the middle of the parking lot.
Essentially, yeah. I mean, kind of. That's what this big lot is. This fairground flea market.
So, I mean, it's just a big empty lot, and then all of,
Well,
right
no,
in the
I
middle
mean,
there's a
there's
table.
other shit too. Like they got, like little vendors and stuff. It's just like it's a flea market.
Okay, got it.
It's a flea market, but that's where they set up on Fridays.
Okay.
And I guess that they're at other locations on other days also.
So
we
we
do Taco Tuesday out here at a bar.
Okay. So they purposely set up for the... So you know they're there every Friday.
Yeah, and then they're also there Saturday mornings for the flea market.
Okay. So you went there on purpose for that place.
Yes, and we
it
waited.
was bomb
and
diggity.
Intentions.
we had real intentions, and they came to fruition. But we went there and we stood in line for probably an hour. Well, not just the line standing. It was the line standing plus the waiting for the food after.
Wow.
So yeah, so all together, and then even longer actually, because I called up Estrella, and I was like, "What up, girl?" She's about to be off. She should have been off work right around then, or I think already on the way home by this time. So I was like, "What?" I'll tell her, because she originally first told us about them. They have a spot set up nearby in the next town up, or
Okay.
in between town, if you will.
Got it.
And so we were definitely, interested. And so I felt, that's only right. Let's kick it back, right? I'm like, hey, they're over here at the flea market. Shh, come on through. And then she's like, hell yeah, I'll be right there. Luckily, she was there too, because she stood in line and waited her time. We were there, we were all there.
Right.
We had PETA and the boys too, so it was real cool. And then Daniel showed up, and his birthday was the next day. So he was like, yeah, I just came to get some tacos and this and that. And he's like, so where's your friend at? Because this line was so long. By the time, so they got so backed up that they stopped taking orders for like 10 whole minutes. They're just like, yeah, they made an announcement. And we had already ordered by this time, but Estrella hadn't. She was like 4 people away.
Oh, no.
And they were like, oh, we're going to stop taking orders for about 10 minutes here, and then we're going to catch up because we're like 30 orders behind.
Damn.
And I was just like, holy fuck, that's insane.
These guys are making a killing.
Nobody moved. Nobody gave a shit. They're like, yeah, fuck it, whatever. I'm here. That's it. Like, I could see all the people in the first 10, not the first 10 people back, not leaving. But, person number 30 and number 35, like, the line was arcing.
No way.
I swear to God. I'm no joke. I was sitting on the fucking ground right next to the thing because I had drank quite a bit, and it was sun-filled
Most of your
day.
stories end that way.
Yes. And I
So
was playing
40,
with the
50
children.
people were waiting in line.
And again, that was 40, 50 people when we went. 40, 50 people. In fact, it wasn't even... I think there was maybe 20 people in front of us when we got there. And then it grew way past us. And then we did our thing. And by we, I mean Rosa
Right.
and PETA stood in line while I played with the kids.
Yeah.
And then... yeah. And it was... I mean, it was fucking hot that day, okay? Like, I mean... But, like I said, nobody left. It wasn't until... some people had shown up, and they ended up being in line for like maybe 10 minutes, and they realized it wasn't moving. And they were just like, all right, let's get the fuck out of here. I was just like, okay, well, you guys are going to miss out. They're about to start taking orders again. So, ultimately, though, pretty dope. Worth it. Delicious.
It's worth an hour's time.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. And on other nights, it's not. Again, it's also. I think it's about when you get there,
Right.
And the other location we were at was busy too when we went there, super busy. In fact, and it was cold that night, and we were outside, so
So you waited in the heat, you waited in the cold.
it's something that I think all is bearable when it comes to getting these tacos. All right, I mean it's pretty bomb.
So that was Friday.
So that was Friday. Then Saturday. Shout out, that's Daniel's and OJ's birthday. 'Tis Leo season.
Right.
Ooh, ooh. I think that's my thing of the night. The ooh,
Ooh.
ooh. Yeah. And so, but on that day, we did not celebrate them other than, of course, wishing them happy birthdays. We drove out to Grandma's house on the Bright. not as, early as we thought, as usual,
Right.
but within the half hour of our time expectancy. So
That's impressive.
Yeah, and we were like literally 5 minutes behind my mom's arrival with the girls, Noe and Nia. Mm-hmm. No Nico this visit.
Because it was also her birthday.
It was Nia's birthday, yes, on the 8th,
Mm-hmm.
which is another, because it's Nia's and Janet's birthday.
Right.
There you go, Janet.
Now, what about Grandma?
Grandma's birthday is the 11th, which was the next day, Sunday.
Okay.
But we chose to come out on a Saturday. It was easier for my mom. It's just how things worked out.
Yeah.
So we get there. The surprise for Grandma. Well, of course, I mean, not just the surprise. She had the grandbabies there, so that's always awesome.
Right.
Well, I mean, like the great grandbabies. Sorry, I'm the grandbaby. Grandma loves me so much.
Oh, wow.
Anyways, so we get there, and she's all excited to see all of us, of course, and she made us motherfucking sandwiches on her day of celebration. She made us sandwiches. She said she worked all the night before to get everything toasted, get everything ready, all
Prepped.
the accoutrement, if you will.
Fabulous.
She had to toast all the breads, and she used 2 different types.
Nice.
One called Dave's bread or
Yes.
something.
Dave's Killer Bread.
Dave's Killer Bread.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Wow, you know all about
I
it.
do
I
so.
suppose you should, as a fellow Dave.
Right.
And then the other ones were made with sourdough, which, I mean, you can't go wrong. That's a fantastic bread. So she, oh my God, I don't know even what was going on in these, because it's like you don't even...
Just a flavor explosion?
Yes, she put sliced peaches in there. Not like out of the can or something like that. Like a fucking
real
real peach, and she's put slices of it into the sandwich. There was some Black Forest ham. Oh my God. A revelation. Spinach. What else? Onions and rosas. She knows,
Yeah.
and she made us our own. So 2 separate quart, like the 1 quart, or is that a 1 gallon? I don't even fucking know. Like the biggest Ziplocs that you got, those bags.
Nice.
Yeah, and they were filled with, I would say probably 6 sandwiches each. But they're little, so like, or 6 halves,
Okay.
or So, but
3
still,
full sandwiches.
But yeah, but the bag was full, filled up. I mean, it was like fucking Christmas on her celebration. So I'm just like blown away. I was just like, oh my God, Grandma, we definitely did not plan for you to, be doing all this. We thought we were going to go to lunch,
Right.
and take her out. Nope, not Grandma, not in Grandma's house.
No, not
She
going to
made
happen.
us all fucking sandwiches, and it was just phenomenal. I mean, again, I love my grandma so much. She be crushing it. Those fucking sandwiches. We gotta set something up. We gotta make this happen. Make it a real deal. We're gonna put my grandma to work and
Kidnap
make
her.
her make sandwiches all the time. Sounds crazy.
Nothing
but
like having the elderly be helpful.
yeah, I mean, she's gonna. What is that on? Oh fuck.
Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber. Elderly people, although senile and a danger behind the wheel, they can still serve a purpose. What a fucking dick.
Right.
She's just like, yeah, I'm going to take all your
Oh,
shit.
fuck yeah.
So, but the bum-ba-da-bum, real big surprise was that not in return, I mean, we had gotten, we had intentions already of getting this gift for Grandma, and I couldn't believe that we were met with sandwiches on the return. It was like,
Right.
almost like the gift wasn't enough now.
Yeah.
Okay? It fucking wasn't, because those sandwiches are priceless. Truly. Anywho, so the gift was an iPad, because we all wanted the ability to talk to Grandma with the FaceTime abilities, and let the baby see her. She's
Right.
she's out in the distance.
there,
Yeah, she's a while out. So it's just like, and from everybody else. I mean, I try to go. Rosa and I try to go typically once a month to visit
Right.
her, but even that can be difficult sometimes because of the distance. I mean, it's just. And fuck, we got to go everywhere anyways. My mom's in one direction, dad's in the other,
Right.
grandma's in the other.
All
Well,
over the
grandma's on the way, but you can't do both in one weekend. There's not enough time.
Right.
So it's a lot. But this way now we can talk all the time. She was making jokes. She's like, this way you guys never have to come see me, huh? We're like, no, not at all. It's because we want to see your face.
We can't get sandwiches through the iPad.
Yeah, this isn't going to work, Grandma. We still need an in-person relationship.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got her all set up. She was mind blown. I mean, we're sitting there calling. We called it to make sure it worked for her, and which actually was pretty tricky. Let me give a shout out to my wife, as if I don't shout her out enough because she's so awesome. But she was totally awesome this weekend when it came time to set up the iPad for Grandma. She went through and did all the necessary process, if you will. It was kind of tricky because we had to send, of course, there had to be a recovery email, and Grandma's computer was down before, and then Rosa was being put to work to figure that out, and,
A regular tech support.
Yeah, but Rosa's got that shit down. Like, she's better than the, did you try turning it off and back on again?
Right?
She'll be like, is it plugged in?
Yeah. This is a power light. Come on.
Yeah. But Grandma did just have her computer worked on, so it was good and fine.
So everything's up and running.
Yeah. So Rosa got it all set up, and after we did the initialization of making the phone call, we put our phone numbers in for her, and we set her up on a group message that we're all in now, so that she can see the pictures that we post to her. She hasn't responded, not a once.
No, of course.
But she has answered most of her FaceTime calls, although she's all, I don't have to, I don't want to see myself on there. I just want to see you guys and this and that. And we're like, well, that's kind of the point. We want to see you also. But if you don't want to, you don't have to. So she just holds it to where it's aimed at the top of her head. It's similar to the Jenny,
right?
Which is a reference to her using the cell phone with difficulty. Because, to be fair, it's a little tricky. Yeah. Sometimes I do that too, just out of like a moment of special time, but whatever.
Special time.
But she'll talk. She'll literally move the receiver end of the phone
closer to her mouth,
up to her mouth.
If there's background noise, yeah, makes sense.
And then shouts into it, and then accidentally still puts the receiver end back onto her ear.
Yeah,
that happens. Though we all do that, right? It's not just me and my grandma.
No.
Anyways, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
So, the point is, she doesn't want to really be seen on there, but it's cool. It's a way for us to connect now. We got her all set up on it. She's like, I do not want Facebook on there, though. She was very adamant. She's trying to get back up. She's like, I'm trying to get back out of there, and she thinks it spams her computer, which it very well might, I guess.
I'm sure.
I'm just like, what the fuck else could be causing it to...
What doesn't?
I guess that's true, yeah. How come it doesn't? Well, that's probably what's fucking up our phones.
Yeah, there it is.
Damn it.
Case solved.
I'll get rid of all of it.
Yeah, just dump it all.
Except for Pokemon.
Are you right? Yeah, good luck with that.
There's an app, I know, I just don't know what it's called, and it will tell you all the things that you're spending money on that you've forgotten about, maybe even. Like, say, for example, we had a gym membership still that we clearly do not use right now. Mm-hmm. They would be like, you're still paying $10.99 a month or whatever the fuck.
Got it.
Did you want to still pay this, or... And they'll also apparently they'll find ways to cheapen your phone bill. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't looked into it enough to know enough about it.
Enough to care.
Yeah, because at the time it really wasn't relevant. Now, though, it is. My main concern is knowing which account that I actually am using.
Right.
And I try to look up in my emails, and neither of them have any information on it.
That's the problem when you have multiple accounts. Yeah.
It's a real fucker right now. That's for sure.
So did you end up leaving and she's enjoying it then?
She is, as much as she can be. We set her up, like I said, with Spotify. I don't know how well she's being able to utilize it.
Mm-hmm. Does she have Alexa or anything?
No, none of that. Okay. Now, yeah, so I'm sorry that we jumped the gun in telling you guys about the new technology that we got my grandma without telling you guys that clearly my grandma isn't really up to the newest technology. She's got a phone, she's got a flip phone. But that's literally for emergencies. Like, she gets nervous when I call her on it because she's like, oh, well, you never call me on here. It's usually the house phone. And I typically never call her on that unless I can't get her on the house phone and I need to talk to her.
Got it.
It's not emergent, but, well, she's got the fucking phone anyways. Might as well utilize it.
Use it.
So, but yeah, she looks pretty excited about it. We showed her a couple of things on there. And we showed her she can check, look up on the internet right there, pull up YouTube, all sorts of stuff. So, again, it was probably a lot overwhelming, a lot all at once. So, I don't expect her to be, like, fucking fluent in iPad abilities by the next time we see her. But at least she'll have something to kind of mess around with. And, you know, we made it really clear you can't fuck anything up on it, really, unless you smash it. Which I did get her a case for, just in case. I was like, just to be safe. She's got the cats. What if they, you know, want to... I know our cats like the outside of Rosa's case of her iPad, and they try to...
Ooh.
Like that, yeah. So that was our Saturday, and we got to see the girls, of course. That's it, right? that was super, super exciting. I almost felt bad because I'm like, clearly we're here for Grandma, but... Oh my God, the girls! Oh my gosh, Nia is so big. It's like she grew 4 inches just being 2 now.
Right.
Yeah, she is. But yet she's still so chunky. I took a picture of her arm rolls, and then I took a screenshot of the Hawaiian bread rolls, and they're like identical. It's like spot on.
I'm sure that she's going to want to hear about that later on.
Yeah, that's why I saved it. I saved it for that reason. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Why do you call me Hawaiian buns? Let me show you.
Let me show you what I have. Hawaiian buns.
So Saturday wraps up.
So Saturday wraps up.
We go into Sunday.
And then rolling into Sunday was the celebratory plans for Daniel's birthday, which was the day before Saturday when we celebrated Grandma. Weirdly, we switched those up a little bit.
Priority levels.
Yes! Rosa with the win! This was... Huh?
So I hope that's the one.
This is the one that I was thinking of.
Sweet.
It's called Truebill, for any of those of you out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's managing finances can be hard. Truebill makes it easy to optimize your spending, manage subscription, lower your bills, and stay on top of your financial life. Yep, that's what I was looking for. Anywho, I'm very appreciative. Thank you. And now I got to utilize that.
Right.
Got to figure out which Spotify account I'm using.
Which gym membership is...
Okay, the gym membership was just an example. I don't have one.
Oh, God.
Which is better than when I did have one before and I wasn't
right?
using it. So, I mean, at least I just don't have one now. Anyway, so Sunday Fun Day was our rafting day with Daniel. We did the American River trip again, which was just as fun because it was a little bit cooler. I thought it was going to be too cool. That's what we did Saturday night. We were over at Chris's house celebrating OJ's birthday. Mm-hmm. Yep. We had like a little barbecue and some beverages. I didn't have very many, but you know, that's
neither here
probably
nor there,
for the
right?
best. Yeah. But anywho,
so packed up, got up.
We're ready to go.
Sunday.
We get out there. We get over to Daniel's house. Daniel rides with us up there. There's a good bunch of us going. And, you know, we do pretty well. We get out there. We're a little bit late, which isn't just a me thing. It's a Daniel thing also.
Okay. I mean, again, it's not a shocker. So.
Yeah, no. So we get out there, and so the intentions are for us to float. Daniel's mom came out there also, and she and one of his brother's girlfriends, and actually the other brother's girlfriend also... I don't know who all was there for the involvement, actually, of the barbecuing, but there was barbecuing happening while we were away, and so that when we returned, there was
food.
A feast, yes.
Nice.
So we're on the water, and it's just a fun old time, no big deal. Man, we hit some fucking, like, some of the rapids are no big deal. You know, I say rapids, and it's just like a little bit faster of a stream.
Right.
But we hit a fucking section of rapids this time.
It was moving pretty good.
That was moving real good. Like, we just hit the right time of day or something. And we had probably like 6 raft floats, I think, all tied up together. 2 of them being double floats, and the rest were individual ones, I think. Roughly, if I'm not mistaken, around there. And then somebody else had a kayak, a blow-up kayak, though. So
okay,
it was, yeah.
So it was rubber.
So we had a good little grouping of people. And one of mine and Rosa's floats that we brought was just simply for the beer and the cooler, the ice cooler.
Okay.
So, and that's between us. So we're about to go hit these rapids, and we were just not ready. We were not ready at all. Rosa is like facing me because we're tied in on a circle, all facing inward.
Oh, got it.
So we go into it, and her and one of her cousins go in backwards, right? Because we're in a circle.
Water comes up and over?
It comes up and over, but also pushes them up and almost all the way over. Like, I mean, they were like a vertical All right, they were flat on the fucking
Right.
water before, and they went like a 90-degree angle.
That's pretty serious.
It was insane. Like, I thought Rosa for sure was gonna come up and out of there. I was just like, oh, this is happening, and her cousin too. So I was just like, oh fuck,
Which one do I catch?
Yeah, this was crazy. I was just like, oh my god. And meanwhile, like, water's coming in like we're a fucking pirate ship, and we're fucking going into the Kraken hole or some bullshit.
Right.
All right, so it's everywhere. And
Just got real.
and Rosa manages to maintain. She grabbed on and she dug her claws in. I don't know what the fuck. She had that grip tight, but her cousin went under.
Ooh.
It was he came right back up. It was real quick.
Well,
but
we lost one.
yeah, it's gonna happen. But I'm surprised we didn't lose more. I mean, the fucking ice chest almost flew out. It was crazy.
Oh, hey,
and that would have been painful and a loss of beer and water.
And at that point, what do you do between Rosa and the ice chest?
Well, Rosa had the float.
Yeah, but if she had fallen out, she wouldn't have the float.
Yeah, but it would have been right there.
Okay, so you're saying the ice chest. You can say
That's what I
it.
heard.
Yeah, that's what we got out of it.
No,
So-
you know what? I wouldn't have needed to anyways because it wasn't my ice chest. So, it's losable.
Okay.
But all the beverages were yours.
But the beverages were mine, but they float.
We got what you're saying.
Wink, wink. So anywho,
Then we get down the river.
so we float a little bit more. We end up pulling off onto the side to, I say we. I didn't do this, but I was accompanied too. I had videos of numerous of our party jumping off of this probably like 10 or 12-foot rock cliff jump area into the water that was more than equally as deep. Mm-hmm. You're going to want to remember that in a minute. More like, 13, 14, 15 probably feet deep.
Impressive.
So keep that in mind just for the reader, and by that I mean the listener, on the receiving end here. So we do our jumps or whatever. The fucking park rangers walking by. We had beers. We were unaware. That's what we said. We're unaware. We didn't know we couldn't have them here. Turns out that's the rule, though. Legit, in case you were wondering.
I was.
Beer has to stay on the rafts.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't, they weren't going to cite us or anything, but they were like, it has to be on the rafts. So you got to go get rid of it or, whatever. So yeah, I thought it was going to be a bigger situation, but it wasn't. Anywho. So we wrap up there and we get back in the fucking rafts and we get back on the water. Well, we fuck up and get caught in the whirlpool right there.
Okay.
And again, if anyone's familiar with this area, you know what I'm talking about. All right, everyone knows. It's where everyone pulls off to go jump and then everyone gets fucking stuck. And by everyone, I mean our whole group got fucking stuck. We're all paddling aggressively and we get a little bit of a ways and then and we've got our guy in the kayak is trying to fucking pull us. Like, they're just holding onto the end of his kayak. Like, he's going to pull us out, all fucking 7 of us or whatever, okay? Just unreal possibilities. But it's all right. It's okay. And then we just drift backwards. And then we do it again, and we just drift backwards. I'm fucking spent, okay? And this guy's riding by on his kayak like a real fucking schmuck, and he's just like, oh, yeah, you guys are coming back. You're coming back here. I was just like, oh, my God. Shove the fuck off. I want to flip them over. But, to be fair, those kayaks are pretty buoyant.
Yeah.
It's pretty difficult unless you really fuck up.
Get a good grip.
Yeah, you really gotta have power, like an alligator or something. Anywho. So, it's not long after that. I think we were still stuck in the whirlpool when this happened.
Yeah.
Oh, she's rolling her eyes.
Yeah, definitely. We were in there.
She rolled her eyes hard.
Mm-hmm.
So, the shame has set in just a little bit more, as if I wasn't already full of shame. But now, even more. So, thank you. And,
Sounds like you've done something.
my next move, in case the crowd wanted to know, was tossing my keys. Yes, my keys to my vehicle that I had just drove an hour and a half out to this place with, tossing them to Rosa, thinking they were gonna make it into her lap, and they didn't. They hit the tube, right? It didn't hit the tube even? So you're just saying...
I reached out to grab it and it bounced off my hand.
Well, then I would like to say that it would have hit the tube and bounced in had she not interjected with her hand.
Okay, so now we know who to blame.
Yeah. The guilt is off my shoulders.
It completely
Look how
changes
tall
everything
I'm
at this point.
Yeah, no.
Now,
Maybe
my
that
question,
didn't help that we were moving.
why
Yes.
did you feel the need to throw the keys at this point? Any particular reason?
I'm not sure, and
You
there's
just thought
no
maybe
reason.
a shift of small weight
There's
would
no
help you? You just...
You know what? I was one of the ones aggressively paddling. Maybe that was in my way. I don't fucking remember because they were around my neck in the most safest of places they could have been.
Right. That or on a flotation device.
And I took them off of my neck to toss them to my wife, where I thought they would be the most safest, and they weren't.
Well, they're safe now.
Because they fell into the bottom of the fucking river. And, by the way, the whole river, almost all of it, is only like 5 feet deep. Except for this part that was like 100.
Does someone need a hug?
My buddy tried to jump down into the water and rescue them because he's like a real athletic type, and he was just like on the fucking ready, right? Didn't give a shit. I was like, it's cold. I guess we'll let them fall.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. There's no way, though, I could have gotten to them in that time. And, I mean, could you imagine me just trying to get out of the fucking raft?
Right.
Like, just struggling? Anyways, he plops out and tries to get in there, and it's already too gone. It's too long gone. Mm-hmm. So we decided we'd try to go back at some other point because, one, we want to go back anyways, but two, we'll bring a big magnet and rope with us so that hopefully we can wrangle in my keys. Not that it is necessary, but I mean, now it'll be something to pass the time while they're all fucking jumping off the cliff. I can just try and fish out my...
I'm sure they've floated downriver by now.
I mean, I don't know, dude. They're in the whirlpool area.
Oh, well, this whirlpool thing, that's apparently a mystery, but...
It's fucking...
Just like
it's like
the same reason that it made you feel the need to throw your keys for no reason.
Yes.
Let me guess, were some drinks involved?
A lot.
Perhaps I am drinking it a little too much.
I had some beers by then. This is facts.
So how did you get home?
Well, we had to call a locksmith, which bravo to my wife for trying to go through our home and auto insurance setup. I feel that we should have still utilized her cousin's AAA when he first made mention of it. Or really just anything else other than trying to stay with our home and auto company. Mm-hmm. Because they were really dicking us around. Like, they were just like, oh, well, so you do have a spare? And the spare is at my home. Over an hour away. And he's like, well, if you have a spare still, it might not be covered for us to do this or whatever. And I'm just like, then I don't have the spare. Like, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. You know what I mean? Like, I was just like,
Blunk! What was that? Oh, I just threw the other key in the river.
Rose was like, oh yeah, we checked with my sister back home. She's not finding the key. It's nowhere to be found. We need a key cut. Like, and then he's like, okay, well, let me get in contact with the person that does the claims. And I'm just like, who the fuck are we even talking to right now?
Yeah, you don't do the claims?
What do you do? You're just a middleman?
Hi, this
so
is
we're
Frank
going to have to
Claims.
retell this fucking story again in a minute? Oh my god. So, like, 2 fucking hours go by.
Wow.
And we still never even got a fucking situation set up with them, aside from giving them the information on the vehicle, just in general. And Rosa did she had to do, like, some password redoing because I fucking always forget them and, whatever. But she found our information for it.
At least she had a phone service.
Yeah, thank God. And battery.
Need that, too.
Yes. So, and then my other biggest fear was that not only did we bring the truck, but I had to get stuff out of the Honda prior to us leaving our home, and so I also had the Honda keys in the truck. Yeah. I mean, we're just going to chalk this up to an overall win for me, right? Yeah, I know. I'm just crushing it. So, we fucking... At this point, we get driven back to our spot because the way the trip works is you start at the top of the river. Somebody parks down at the bottom, though, so that when we get down to the bottom, they can fucking drive us back to the top.
Well, good thing you weren't at the bottom.
Thank God, right? That would have been real shitty.
Yeah.
Real shitty.
Everyone walking up because of you.
Yeah, although, I mean, Uber's a thing, and it would have been like maybe $20 to get to the top of the river. Yeah. Anyways, so we fucking...
Big Uber area, a lot of cars running around up there in the middle of the forest. I mean, realistically, would you even gotten an Uber?
Yes! Probably. It's 2019 and we were in Sacramento. It's not like we were in the fucking Hidden Valley Forest or some bullshit.
But I mean,
like,
you were in
deep.
a freaking...
We were at a state park location.
Yeah.
It's easily accessible. You know how I know how easily accessible it was? Is we told somebody who did not sound like he knew anywhere that we were trying to describe to him, and he found it.
Okay.
So, and by that person, I mean the locksmith.
Oh.
So he shows up, or so I fucking call a locksmith. She's on the phone still, and I'm just like, fuck this, I'm about to call somebody else. And because it's taking them so long, I don't understand. I'm not understanding.
2 hours is, I probably would have called a little sooner.
I was just like, I was banking it on the fact that I don't want to have to spend this money. If we can get this covered, awesome. I'm sorry, I fucked this up, all right? I knew this was my bad. So, undoubtedly. You know what I mean? Like, that's what the worst part is. It's not like, I'd be like, well, the sun was in my eye. No, it doesn't matter.
I was bored.
Yeah, I thought I'd make it a more exciting birthday celebration for Daniel.
Yeah.
I said, hey, man, you came with us? You're stuck with us. So,
say goodbye to everyone else.
I typed in fucking locksmith, or locksmith for car or some bullshit.
Boom.
The first thing that it came up, it said GM locksmith, and then it said 24 hours. I was just like, fucking perfect. My truck's a GM, I was like, this will be great. They'll have exactly what I need.
Yep.
At the cheapest, hopefully. I call them, I tell them my year, make, and model. That's what he asked for. And he said, it'll be $150 to $160. Cut to after us trying to figure out how to get the guy directions, which was a different guy from the guy I spoke with,
right.
Of course. You have a dispatcher person. So Rosa is so smart, she's just like, oh, fuck, I'll send you it in a text. That'll be perfect. I'll send you the address. Because we couldn't even fucking figure out, we couldn't even get a physical address, damn near.
Right.
It was very tricky. Anyways, she makes it happen. Like 20, 30 minutes go by. I was like, maybe we should fucking call this guy back and make sure he got your message. He never responded. Maybe you should just say, like, also, give him a couple of directions in addition to what we've given him, because it's not just at point X, where the fucking thing stops. You have to go down into the parking lot and shit, too. So I'm starting to get antsy. And then he shows up. Meanwhile, though, sorry to cut back a little bit, but all the while, there's fucking, like, river people just out and about, okay?
Banjos playing.
Like,
Deliverance.
I don't know what the fuck is going on. Like, there's in the brush over on the side, there's a guy fucking with a headlight lamp, and I don't know what he's doing, if he's in the garbage, if he's working on his bicycle, if he's doing both of those things together. I don't know. Then there's some other commotion on the side. There's noises. It's like when all the sound goes
right.
And you hear just static and your heartbeat and then just individual noises like in and out. Like I hear a bird chirp with my right ear and then it pin drops and then I hear the fucking shuffling of a squirrel. Okay, it was fucking crazy. And paranoia starts to set in. Her cousins had left us because they had to go back and get everybody else. Right, naturally. And they left us, luckily, with some weaponry. We had a 2x4, a hammer. Rosa remembered because we got the hammer that she's like, oh, yeah, there's a sledgehammer in the truck bed. I got that, right?
Why not, right?
Yeah. So we've got all three of these
so
things.
You're ready for zombies.
Don't have a knife because it's in the fucking truck. All of them. I have, like, the most weaponry in my truck. Not accessible because it's fucking locked. So, it's great, right? Next time we should really just bring one of those weapons with us on the rafting trip.
Maybe you can throw that to her.
I hate you so much right now. Maybe. Oh my god.
So dude showed up.
So he fucking shows up, and he Jimmy's the lock, and I was like, oh, I have that. I have all that shit, but it's at home or in my fucking
figure.
toolbox, yeah. So he gets in and then he gets the VIN off the door and he's just like, okay. He's like, so it's gonna be like $199 after parts and labor and all this bullshit, right? And I was like, okay, well that's real weird because the guy told me $150, $160 already. But I mean, I'm just like, I'm sure that's fine, but let me just let her know, And I go over to Rosa and I'm like, well, it's $199 now. And she's like, well, what the fuck are we going to do anyways? You know what I mean? I was like, well,
it could
obviously.
have been $400 at this point.
Right. Well, and that was the thing, too, is like her cousin was saying it was going to be like $300, and that's what we were expecting.
Right.
So when I first got off the phone and it was like 150, 160, we were like, tits, that's great.
Yeah, it's
in
actually
fact,
a
I don't
good
even
price.
mind. Yeah. I was just like, all right, cool. So he says the $199, and, you know, I'm just like, all right, well, what the fuck else are we going to do at this point? It's fucking dark. By the way, it's dark. It's like 8:30 in the forest. So keep that in mind.
And the river people are...
And the river people are all about. And possums and shit. Mm-hmm. And all we had was the fucking moonlight that was cast through the trees. So not even a full... But, I mean, it was almost a full moon.
You should have
But
hammered
it
the
was
guy
blocked.
with the helmet light.
I should have and taken that.
Yeah.
God damn it.
So he got it open, you got a key made.
Well, it wasn't all just tricky dick simple, all right? He fucking made it real complex. He's in there. I mean, he keeps hitting the hazards. He's taking off the shroud. You know, he's got to get to where he's got to get to. It makes sense. And he's in there fucking with it, then keying, then coming back, then keying. Okay. So we're there. I mean, it felt like a long time, though. We were outside. Her Nina had come back after they had gotten all their stuff, you know, packed up, and they came back. They came and showed up, and which made it a lot nicer to be out there and comfortable at this point. Like, but he is struggling to get the fucking shroud back on and together, and he popped off the little cover. There's just the plastic trim that goes over the ignition, and he just couldn't get it all back together, and he was struggling. And at this point, I was just like, dude, we gotta get the fuck out of here. I was like, I'll fix that shit. You know what I mean? He doesn't know what I do, but I'm just like, I don't want to wait here anymore.
Yeah.
The ranger has already come by. He came by way before we even got this guy here, and he was like, everything okay? And we told him, we locked ourselves out, we got the guy coming, blah, blah, blah. And they said, okay, fine, no problem. They had patrolled several times.
Since.
Yeah. while we had our whole group there, everything. We get the fucking key to... the guy's like, okay, I'll give you $20 off, you know. And meanwhile, one of Rosa's cousins is there, and he had been there when the price went up in the first place, and then he had been there when, you know, he's trying to say, oh, only $20 off, which, to be honest, I would have been with the $20. I was prepared. I was like, all right, that's cool, actually. I come back after discussing it with my wife to make sure that is cool, and that she doesn't want to say anything like, no, maybe it should be the 160 that you guys said.
Right.
And we come back only to find out that that's what her cousin's telling him, like, nah, this should be 160, that's what you guys said. Then you up the price, then you broke some shit, which he didn't break some shit, but, you know.
Put it on, right.
Yeah, but he made the words sound gravy to the point where the dude was just like, all right, 160, fine. You know, like, you could tell he was a little bit irritated by it, like, whatever, you know, like, at this point. So we fucking call it what it is, and we get it, you know, start the truck. I even told him, I was like, I just want to know that it starts. Like, you haven't started it one time. He's like, oh, yeah, it starts. I was just like, okay, well, can you start it just so that we know, and also you've been killing the battery slowly, so please.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just like, motherfucker. So it starts up, no problem. We get everything set, and we all go to leave.
You're finally off and running.
Rosa's Nina's car, our truck, and the fucking key guy. All right?
Awesome.
And not in that order, I'm sorry. Rosa and I came in last on that order, on that description order.
That's fine.
So
at least you guys are finally leaving.
So we, the key guy takes off, and he gets ahead of us. He turns out he went the wrong way and had to double back. This is where Rosa's family gets up and in front of him, and then he gets in between, or he gets in, and then we come pulling up, and we all arrive at the fucking end gate, and it's fucking locked. Like, not just like closed over, you know, like they closed the gate or whatever, but like deadbolt, or not deadbolt, but no, that is deadlock. Yeah, a fucking
chained and locked.
Yeah, chained, tied up, locked to a cable cord lock. I mean, chain too.
Wow.
So it's like heavy duty shit. And for those of you that are thinking like maybe it's so people don't drive over the spikes, there were no fucking spikes. So you know, like when you go in the outway or whatever. So because they didn't have that, and this gate is. It was open and closed for both the entrance and exit. It was all one. Arm. Yeah, it was one big swing arm.
Good thing you had a locksmith.
So that was the funny thing is we pull up and I'm like, fuck, what should we do? Should we go back and I mean, it's getting even later. It's like 10 o'clock now, you know? Yeah, it's fucking late. He took forever.
Talk about a full day.
Yeah, this was crazy, okay? So, you know, we get out and we're checking the fucking thing, and that's when we put all the stuff together. We're like, okay, it's definitely chained the fuck up. Well, I'm thinking we should go back and find a ranger maybe, and maybe they'll unlock it. And the fucking guy comes up, like the guy turns the car off and turns the lights on in the van that he's rocking, and jumps in the back. He fucking I come walking up to the truck, and he's sliding the back door open with bolt cutters in his fucking hand, like he's fucking coming to fuck shit up, okay? Like, he looks like Terminator, but real skinny and scrawny, not at all.
That's fine.
So, but he just looked cool because he had the fucking bolt cutters, right?
Yeah.
I was like, fuck yeah.
Let's
Here
do
he
this.
comes.
Woo.
Not gonna lie, right then and there, I was like, fuck, we should have gave him more money. Like, we should have paid him better for that, like, just because, like, not that we could foresee this situation happening.
Right.
And not that he didn't upcharge and then, not finish the job fully. But, again, still, just for peace of mind, it didn't sit right with me, but whatever. Right. So he goes up, and I think he got nervous. I heard him saying something like, oh, like, I don't know if I can, maybe if somebody else wants to try it. And I was under the impression that he was scared. I think, though, in reality, it was just that he couldn't actually cut it. Yeah, it was like, it's just either his cutters weren't big enough, or the area that he had to work with where he was trying to cut was not right. I don't know. I have no fucking idea. And so I'm like starting to get more nervous, and this is where that same feeling that we had earlier with the river people, okay?
Where they were following you again.
Where like all the sound cuts out. We've all of our cars, lights are all off except for the inside of his van, but the headlights are off, and we're all just like in the darkness in the fucking forest.
Why would you do all that? Why would you not have the lights on?
Well, because it felt real weird and eerie. I don't know. Okay, I just was following suit. Everybody else did it. I did it too. Plus, my lights are pretty blinding and right in people's eyes when they're behind you. So I'm hearing like the fucking frogs ribbit and little chirps and bullshit, and all the while my heart's racing, and I'm like the fucking what are they? Not the Federales. What am I trying to think?
The
Rangers.
Federales now. Wow. Okay, here we go.
I was trying to think of they say the state troopers. It's on Elf. Remember?
Oh.
They were on my naughty list, and they've been trying to get off of there forever or whatever. So, but that's where my mind was headed to, was state troopers. Anyways, so I'm just thinking they're going to show up any minute now, and I'm just like, oh my God, like, what if this is like, I don't know. I got real anxious. I was just like, this is totally fucked. We're totally fucked if somebody shows up. Like, what are we going to do? We weren't doing anything.
It wasn't me.
Yeah. With the fucking, yeah.
Right.
Like, we can't do this? Weird. Yeah. We didn't know how else to get out, so we just figured obvious choice.
We called the locksmith and everything.
I was gonna saw it with my machete, but it just was gonna take too long. Yeah. So, but yeah, so I'm getting fearful. All right. And this guy fucking pulls his car out from between us and pulls right up next to the front car, which is Hernina's car. Pulls right up next to it, but pointed at the gate. Or where the chain is, turns the lights on, fucking opens the back up again, and the furthest back, fucking both doors fly open, and he whips out this big ass extension cord, like fucking runs it all the way around his car, and then comes out with a fucking cutting wheel and hooks that shit up, throws on his fucking safety glasses, and just cuts right through the shit. And fucking next thing you know, we're scot-free. He took his time. I started getting even more nervous when he was like taking his time wrapping the shit back up. He was like, oh, let me put my extension back nicely. I'm like, throw the shit in there and let's get the fuck going, man. Like, we gotta go. Motherfuckers is gonna show up and they're gonna see us like, oh, hey, do you want us to hold the gate open for you too? So you can get out also, Ranger? Like, I got...
Do you have a spare lock by any chance?
Yeah, and, crazy question. Hear me out. Do you have a padlock on you that you might be able to utilize now?
Maybe the locksmith guy can sell you one.
He's looking to make $40. Oh, my God. Oh, it was, like, super anxiety-ridden. And then we all leave out of there, but just to the front end because... The guy couldn't get the gate to stay open. He was pulling it open the wrong way. It should have been inwards towards us. Because I remember that's how it was when we first showed up. Right. And it was open. And so her cousin had to hold it open while we went through. And then he ended up walking up to the car running up afterwards. And the whole time while he's like, like walking up, I'm just like, they're going to show up any minute. Like, they're going to show up at the gate and be like, hey, and like, we're going to have to peel out of here like a fucking movie, okay? It did not go down like that, though, luckily. But as we were driving away, all my fucking anxieties let go or whatever, and I almost pissed myself. It was crazy. My arms got all jelly, and it was real wild. When your spine feels like warm.
And you were driving?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, so it was...
So quite the weekend experience.
It was a fucking wild one.
That is nice.
Yeah.
Well,
definitely fun-filled, packed with stories.
Yeah. I mean, that's a full 2 days worth
And
right
look how dark I am.
That's true.
If you saw my feet right now, they'd be the same color as my leg.
Well, let's not see that. So, that's great. Well, tune in next week with the, we decide what else Celeste decides to throw around.
Shut the fuck up. Into open bodies of water.
Right. For no apparent reason, other than the need to. And we'll do we'll get a follow-up from how Grandma's doing with the iPad.
Yes, we'll definitely have to touch back on that.